Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Anthony. This is Conscious Community Channel. Today I have a special guest with me, my friend Sam.
Hello.
Today is going to be the first interview that I'm going to be doing on my channel. I want to start getting really amazing people on my channel and have them talk about the cool things that are going on in their life. I hope that it inspires and encourages you. So we're going to get started. Cool. Sam, when we first met, one of the first things we did was we watched one of the episodes of The Walking Dead. I believe it was season 2. Are you still a fan of The Walking Dead?
I am, but I've been incredibly lazy, and so now I'm about 2.5 seasons behind, and I don't know what's happening. Well,
Okay.
I know what's happening, because I get consistently spoiled, but I haven't seen anything.
Maybe a better question would be, are you still a fan of the zombie genre?
It depends.
Or
It's
apocalyptic genre?
kind of. It's really overdone.
Uh-huh.
I like it when it's done well. Like, I just rewatched 28 Days Later last night, and it's still fantastic. But then there's other things that come out, like every Call of Duty game now has zombies in it because
Right.
zombies. Not a fan. Not a
Yeah,
fan.
I think there's a lot. I don't think it's all good.
No, yeah.
But, so, I know what my answer would be, but I'm going to ask you to see what you think. With your vast knowledge and experience with apocalyptic genre, right, and zombies, if this happened, what would be your weapon of choice? Like, close range. So I guess you got to have, there would definitely be different ranges, right? So, close range and long range, what would be your apocalyptic weapons?
I think I would probably want some form of machete, I guess.
A machete? Okay. Yeah.
Like, I would love a chainsaw, but that requires gasoline. If you run out of gasoline, then you have a big heavy thing that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you gotta lug that around.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's not that many options, but long range, if you had to have a sustainable, zombie weapon for long range.
I can't shoot firearms, so my only choice would be a longbow, because I did that in Girl Scouts when I was little.
Someone's like, finally, Girl Scouts has paid off.
Yeah, I can shoot a longbow, I can't shoot a gun.
There you go. Okay, so you got the badge, the longbow badge?
I don't have a badge, but we would just do summer camp activities every so often, and one of the things you could do was do archery, so I did that.
I could sort of
camp.
and in my head, I have a really cool image of you walking around toting these big arrows and being ready to just shoot the shit out of some targets. That's good. That's good. Do you have any other particular memories from Girl Scouts? Any good ones?
I mean, kind of. There was a thing we did one summer. And I don't know where we were. We were just in some place with a cabin with woods everywhere. And I don't really remember why we were there or where it was other than being there for, I think, 1 day or 2. And it was just creepy.
Sounds like a good setup for a horror movie. What you just described was
It was creepy enough that I wrote a horror short story about it that I told over the campfire in that camp, but I adapted it for a story that I wrote.
Man, you were pretty creative.
It was almost nothing was changed too. I just kind of...
That was your outlet of being
yeah.
This place is fucked up.
yeah. I told campfire stories in Girl Scouts a bit, so...
Nice.
I just kind of adapted one of them for class because I was lazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Before we started recording, we were talking about bars. What's your favorite bar in Chicago right now?
I'm at Quenchers the most, so I really like Quenchers because they have the entire wall of international beer.
Okay.
And so that's fun because I like being able to kind of try other shit I probably wouldn't be able to try normally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of chill there. I like Exit, but I can't reliably get back from Exit unless I take Uber because the bus there cuts off after a certain point. I think 11 o'clock, and
Which
Exit
is super
opens
early.
at 9.
Yeah.
So you basically get there and then the bus cuts off.
Guess you're walking home.
Yeah, guess
Or
you're
Uber.
walking or Ubering back from Exit at 3 in the morning.
I do want to stay on this topic of bars, but quick question. Have you had a weird Uber experience yet?
Yeah, it was not that long ago, but we got into a car, and this woman asked us if we cared about what was on the radio at the time, and we sort of said no, because it's normally not a problem.
Yeah.
But it turned out that she was playing a radio station of like soft Christian pop for the entire 25 minute ride.
Yeah.
So we were all just sitting there like
Dropping like subtle hints like, the Lord's good today, huh?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's good. And when we finally got out of the car, we were like, why?
Yeah. I
She was
was
very nice though. She was a very nice lady. It was just a bit uncomfortable.
Uber lady, get your music game up, okay?
Uber lady, you were really cool. But that was really strange.
I feel like she shouldn't have went with the soft. She should have went with like the hardcore.
Oh, like Under Oath starts playing on a 60-year-old lady's radio?
What is it? Skillet, right?
You know more about this than I do.
Yes, I was raised in a interesting household. We'll put it that way. So going back to bars, though, we were talking earlier. What you were letting me know. So Neo is no longer active, right? Or...
Yeah, no, it not in like an establishment way.
Mhm.
I think at Metro they have Neo nights on. I want to say it's Thursdays, but I don't know. It could be Sundays for all I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it exists as far as the DJs who normally DJ at Neo go to Metro now.
And that that's probably when we were talking before. You said that's probably the closest to a goth bar that we have, or
It definitely was. From everything I'm aware of, I wasn't really actively going there at all. But if you kind of looked up anything sort of like goth or punk bars in Chicago, that was pretty up there usually.
And have you been to a goth bar?
Yes.
Where was that at?
I was on a study abroad to Germany, and so for 5 days we were in Munich and 5 days we were in Berlin, and we had the last full 24 hours that we were in Berlin to do whatever we wanted. So the night before, I was Googling stuff, and there's goth bars all over Berlin. There was one I found out about later that I couldn't go to that was basically a repurposed warehouse, and there were 5 different floors, and they all played a different genre of goth music.
Okay.
So one floor was like synth pop, one was industrial metal, one was like old goth music, like Bauhaus and The Cure and stuff like that. And then another one was like really heavy, like Cradle of Filth and like stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't get to go though, so I went to one that was closer. That was called The Last Cathedral, where they basically hollowed out a cathedral and repurposed the pews and stuff into seats. And they had absinthe and Red Bulls, and
And I was there for the Red Bull.
I've never heard of absinthe being mixed with Red Bull, and I kind of understand why now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we didn't even get drunk, but just for some reason, whatever was going on with the absinthe and then the caffeine from the Red Bull, it kind of felt like your skull was expanding a little bit.
Yeah?
It was not pleasant.
Cool. Yeah. No, keep that in mind next time I have absinthe and Red Bull. It's like only one.
Yeah, you should
Pick
probably
one.
not do that.
Gotcha. So, how would you describe your style? Like, what kind of I don't want to say aesthetic, but how would you describe your style?
I guess it depends on how lazy I am on a given day. Because, normally I'm too lazy to do much makeup. I basically just do my eyebrows and I wear glasses.
Yeah.
And just kind of this. But if I get really fancy, I have full face makeup. I have, a bar on my chin. I have finery that is basically only wearable to, someplace like a music festival or, a goth club or something like that.
Okay.
I have a headband with deer horns on it and roses.
That's pretty cool. So the reason I was asking is just because I know, you've mentioned, pop, or not pop bars, punk bars, and, goth bars, and so, that is, what you feel is kind of, your, I wanted to say, that's, your scene, right? But more so, that's the atmosphere you feel comfortable in?
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason I was asking about that is, when did this, that culture or atmosphere, when did you, really start getting into it and feel like, this is, where I belong, this is, what I feel really cool doing?
Yeah, I think in some way it was always there, because, I hung out in my grandma's house a lot when I was little, and she just had public access, which usually involved a lot of, the Munsters and the Addams Family. and
Yeah,
Tales
that-
from the Crypt and Svengoolie, and then that was like also the early 90s, so Goosebumps was a thing, and
Yeah.
so was Are You Afraid of the Dark
Uh-huh.
and stuff. So I just kind of liked all of that, and Scooby-Doo and all that.
Yeah.
I know aesthetically, when I watched Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, that goth band that's in it for
Yeah.
like 2 seconds, I was like, ah! I like wanted to be Thorn from the Hex Girls so badly when I was like 9, and it didn't work out. But then the whole emo phase thing that happened when I was in middle school
Yeah.
kind of facilitated it, and
Uh-huh.
then I just kind of aged up with it
Yeah.
and stopped looking completely ridiculous, and now I only look slightly ridiculous.
No, I think that's so cool. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say like, and then I watched a Scooby-Doo episode and I knew who I wanted to be.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
would
super
still love to dress up
Yeah.
as Thorn. That would be great if I could go to Comic-Con as Thorn at some point.
Yeah.
I can't sew, though, so I can't make that dress.
Well, you know, they make duct tape.
Maybe I make duct tape.
So how was that though growing up? And I would say that most people aren't into like punk like culture or like thing like that. How was that? Did you feel like you were different growing up? How did that feel being part of that and liking all that? And then I guess I didn't ask so far. Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Irving Park for like 9 or 10 years, like living there, and then my family moved to Edison Park, but my grandma stayed in Irving Park, so I was still there a decent amount all through grade school. But where I did move to was very Irish Catholic, like sports people, and so I definitely had the whole bullying experience when I was growing up, which wasn't ideal, but it also made me give a lot less of a fuck now. Because basically there's nothing you can say to me that I haven't already heard over the course of like 23 years. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is super not original.
Yeah, I'm like, yep, I've heard that from children, so
Yeah.
you're an adult and that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
They're like, good job. Okay.
Yeah, and I think for me, I find it attractive in people when they've been through things, because I think like really hard experiences really help shape who you are, and like we all have them. And I'd like to say like it's all the amazing things in life that really make you who you are, but I don't believe that. Like I think the messed up things that happen to you and like the things you like have to deal with and like overcome, I think those really are what help shape your character. And so when you mentioned like, oh, I was bullied and like I got through it, and now like I think that's really exciting. Like, yeah, I was definitely bullied like growing up. I was like the hairy kid. Like,
The hairy
yeah,
kid?
like I had a mustache in like 5th grade, right? And like I was just maturing like a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I got dandruff before anyone else, and I was like ridiculed. And like this is like I think I tried to hide it from my parents as if like I was plagued. Had I just been like, hey, I like I have some dandruff. Can I get like Head and Shoulders or something? It would have worked out a lot easier. But I was like so ashamed of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the bullying happens, and then like you either start believing what's being said,
Yeah.
or like you start believing what you have to say about yourself. Like,
Yeah, the former definitely happened to me first. It definitely contributed to the very long-lasting mental illness that I've been going through and am going through. That's probably always going to be there, which is irritating, because it's like, I know where it came from, but it's too late. There's nothing you can do now. So basically it's like, well, thanks for that.
Well, that's cool.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Don't let your children bully people. They remember.
Yeah, no, I think so when I started going to therapy, I remember saying like, hey man, I would like to like get some of the stuff that I'm dealing with over with and through before I die, because I'd like there to be like a little cushion between like me getting over something and then dying. Like it'd be nice if I could have like some life in between there.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so important though, like to like I think it's awesome that like you can say like I realize where this came from, like what it is, how it affects me. Like that's important. Like that's like awareness, and that's how you continue to live your life, is like not putting things in a box or like tucking it in the closet and being like it doesn't exist. Like everything's fine. It's okay. Like I'm a person who I enjoy like being real, and so it really bothers me when like you're like, hey, like how's everything, and that like that one person never has anything bad going on in their life. Like they say that,
You lie.
and you're like, yeah, exactly. Like, can you just be human? Like we're all going through this. So
I like the sardonic humor that's coming out of everybody being miserable lately, though. That's just like, oh, how are you? My house is on fire. Everything's fine.
yeah.
It's great. I really love biting dark humor. It's my favorite thing ever. It makes things so much easier to deal with, I think.
Yeah, I would say that like you get to take like something that is probably like darker and like use it to make something creative out of it and like fun or like something interesting instead of just letting it be like dark. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
no, so that's super good. So how's your summer been so far?
It's been pretty good. I had a freelance job for a little bit editing, which is the first time I've gotten editing freelance work. It was only for a total of, I think, about 10 days.
Mhm.
But it was pretty good, so I have that now. So now I could officially call myself a freelance editor, which is nice, because it'll
Gotcha.
probably be easier to get work editing than writing, realistically.
So I know we're all like I know we're not defined by our work, and I know we're all more than just like one thing. But is there something like that you're really passionate about that like you think describes you super well?
I don't know. I guess I don't know if the thing that I like the most describes me super well, but I'm one of those people that's like very irritatingly obsessive with Tolkien's work.
Okay.
like like I probably reread it and rewatch Lord of the Rings like basically once a year, every year at minimum. And like I've gone through like the Silmarillion a bunch. I have like a Lord of the Rings coloring book. It's out of hand. I know useless trivia, so much useless trivia, which is great but useless. But I don't know
until you need it.
Yeah. If I ever go on Lord of the Rings themed Jeopardy, I'll super clean up. It'll be great.
Nice. Okay.
I'll be rich.
So you're definitely into books and everything. Writing, how like important is that for you?
I guess very, like, I don't really know what I'd do if I wasn't trying to write things. I can't really think of a career or field that I would care about to the same extent at all. I guess I really like telling stories, so I guess I've always liked to be able to tell stories and kind of make people think about things, or depending on where it's coming from, make people afraid of certain things. Because I definitely like the idea of horror because you can be very afraid in a very controlled, safe environment, and I think that's very healthy in the long run.
See, I've never heard that. Can you expand like a little bit more? Like how does that happen, or like how do you like to use horror to like do exactly what you just described?
Yeah, so like you can't control what horrific thing might happen to you walking around in life, obviously, which does cause a lot of anxiety for most people, especially now, because now that everyone's so interconnected, you can hear about all of the horrible things happening with much greater frequency than you probably could before. But as far as like going to a haunted house or seeing a horror movie or reading a horror story, that at least gives you a slight amount of control that you normally don't have. You are allowing this thing to affect you in what is a temporary, very negative way, but it is temporary. You know it's temporary. No matter how afraid you are, it will be over. It'll be done. And you can go on with your life, and the scary monster is gone. And I think that little kind of experiences like that help make the bigger experiences that you can't change easier to deal with, I think.
Wow, that I've never looked at it that way. Like, so I cannot watch horror movies. I'm just not like I'm not good at it.
But you do. If you watch The Walking Dead, you are watching horror.
Okay, so I guess there's different genres of horror, right?
Yeah.
I can do thrillers.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. What like really like I can't do like gory. Like gory, like really gory stuff. And almost for like the sake of just, I mean, I don't know if gory ever has intention, but like gory just for the sake of gory,
Yeah.
and torture, like things that involve torture. I feel
yeah.
super weird watching like when like Hostel came out when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, like I'm watching another human being get tortured.
Yeah.
This really makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm really into special effects makeup, so the only way I can watch a torture movie is I just sit there freaking out over how good the special effects
You're like,
are.
oh my god, that's
I'll be like, that looks so real, oh my god! But subject matter-wise, it freaks me out. I can't watch, eyes, nails, or teeth.
Okay.
So, if any of those are getting directly messed with, or ripped out, or something's happening to them, that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Super a lot. Like, even in, have you seen Daredevil?
Yeah.
The series?
Yeah.
Have you seen the second
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
No. I'm not gonna get spoilery, but that whole thing?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think about Daredevil? Do you like the
I
series?
love Daredevil.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Do you, so, if you haven't seen the show, or at least the second season, pause the video, go see it, and then come back and watch it. Don't skip forward. Just go and watch the season, and then finish this video. What did you think about the introduction of the Punisher?
I loved it. I normally hate the Punisher as a character a lot.
He's
I
been
really
done so
don't.
terribly, I feel like,
Yeah.
in many ways.
Even as a comic book character, I don't like him. I hate the concept of black and white morality. I don't like it.
I think that's what's fascinating about him, though.
Oh yeah, but though he's so extreme that it's where do you draw the line? Like if it's whatever's wrong legally and stuff like that, is the Punisher gonna start blowing people away for jaywalking?
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, okay. I can see that, yeah.
so I think that he's always rubbed me the wrong way, and I think that he was humanized very well. I've never liked him more or ever, and now I'm really excited for the possible spin-off that might happen, apparently.
Yeah.
Because they said they would think about it if he was popular enough, and he definitely is popular enough.
And, yeah, I mean, the actor they got, the guy who
John
played...
Bernthal
Yeah.
is amazing. He's really nice, too. I met him at Comic-Con.
Uh-huh.
So nice.
I think he did a really good job, and that was funny you say that, because my thought was, like, they really humanized him. Like, you can almost understand him. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as the season goes on, you're like, I kind of feel for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I totally feel you. So is horror, though, your favorite thing to write?
Usually, yeah. I like it a lot. I feel like I have more more freedom doing it than anything else. I like kind of just being able to create things, and I don't know why. I like reading fantasy to some degree. I don't like writing fantasy. I don't like it.
No.
So I'll do like fantasy more along the lines of horror fantasy. Like Guillermo del Toro, I think, does mostly, it's fantasy, but it's definitely frightening.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. But as much as I love Lord of the Rings, I hate writing within that particular genre. I hate it.
Gotcha.
I feel like there's too much to kind of try to do or replicate.
Yeah.
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 Because everybody ends up usually just sounding like they're parroting Tolkien, and I feel like I would sound the same way.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, as a writer, like, what are some obstacles that you've had to overcome to, like, be like, I'm gonna be a writer?
Me.
Like, you? That was your biggest obstacle?
Internal criticism is always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The every time you're doing anything, this is terrible, this is terrible, this is terrible, but you have to do it anyway. So it's like, yes, okay, so this is awful, but I will finish the awful thing, and then maybe I'll hate it less.
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping going it gets difficult for me anyway. And ideas are hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine, like, so writing is a form of art, and I know a lot of people who, like, go into, like, art and literature and stuff. There's a lot of backlash from, like, people around them, at least from what I've experienced, like, not being someone who's, like, artsy or creative in that way. Have you felt pressure of, like, other people, like, telling you, like, you can't do this, or, like, that it's not wise to go in it, or, you know, like, have you felt that pressure?
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you work in kind of genre work, like horror or science fiction or fantasy and all that. There's, like, very much kind of a segment of the writing community that's basically genre fiction is garbage. Like, if it's not literature or real literature, whatever that is supposed to mean, it's not worth reading or writing, and that irritates me greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels so arbitrary, because these same people will talk about, they'll go fantasy and genre work or horror, they're not all real literature and they're worthless, but these are also the same people that will praise Stephen King and Tolkien. Well, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand. So what keeps you going then? Like, so we've talked about, like, like people not doing, or people not, like, really recognizing it at times, like your own internal, like, voice, like, sometimes holding you back or, like, at least criticizing you. What keeps you going as Redwood? Like, what keeps you, like, doing this?
I guess a combination of genuinely enjoying it most of the time, and then also spite.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that there's the pushback for I can't do that or I shouldn't do that, I will immediately increase my efforts to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically out of spite, just so later I can be like, haha. So I like doing that, and a lot of things I've done being told I can't do it are always things that I've liked the best.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they haven't been entirely successful as, like, a piece, at least the ideas that went into them, I usually like those the best out of anything that I've done.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear. I guess I have just, like, one more question. So yeah, if you could, like, go back and give advice to, like, your younger self about, like, life or, like, following a certain path, what would you say to encourage yourself? Like, what advice would you give yourself as, like, I don't know, you can pick the age. You're like, yesterday.
Yesterday me. eat more of the soda chicken.
There you go.
But I guess just I guess to very younger me in grade school, just like, you'll remember everything that happened to you, but it will make you less shitty of a person, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
'Cause definitely, I think, going through being bullied a lot and things like that, have definitely made it easier for me to kind of try to take care of people and kind of help people, because when you're aware of, to a degree, what it's like to basically have everybody hate you and everybody want you to not exist anymore to a certain degree, depending on the intensity of the people involved, it's a lot harder to see that happen to somebody else and divorce yourself from it, which I think is best. Especially with things happening in the political and social climate now, like, even though nothing I went through is as bad comparatively at all, it really angers me watching people have all this really divisive rhetoric against refugees or immigrants from South America or in Central America and Mexico and stuff like that. It's like, you are so lucky that you have never had to know clearly a fraction of the pain they're going through.
Yeah.
Like, I know how painful what happened to me was, and something as comparatively not a bad thing as bullying could have basically destroyed me entirely. It definitely took a toll on my psyche that I'm still dealing with now, and that's still a drop in the bucket of what a lot of these people have had to deal through.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm like so happy you that you found a way to continue to thrive and and grow and pursue the things you like, despite being what you've been through, and actually not even you've used it as fuel.
Yeah.
And what you were saying with your last point, I think that's so important. I think hard times creates empathy. I think this is how I feel when it comes to how others treat others, or how people treat other people. I believe that you will treat people the way that you believe your God feels about you. So, whether that's someone who's a Christian, Muslim, or someone who doesn't have a religion, the way you treat others is really how you feel about yourself and how you feel that someone cares about you. You know what I mean?
That's very true, I think.
Yeah. And you can sort of tell the people who are hard and unforgiving and just sort of rough, when it comes to sensitive topics.
There's a lot of self-loathing in there.
Yeah.
A lot.
I would have to think that if you're that way with others, it must be really hard to be yourself, because you have to hold yourself to the same standard.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing that like your experiences haven't made you more of a jagged or jaded person, but someone who like sees that and goes like and like is hurt and inspired by it, and like I think that's so great. It's for some of you who don't know, or actually for all of you who don't know, Sam and I met like 4 years ago. About 4 years ago.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, she was a roommate with one of my ex-girlfriends, and it was so funny. Like we had hung out just I think a couple times, just being in the apartment at the same time. But then I would run into Sam like all the time.
Yeah,
like,
I just saw you at Riot Fest.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Like, we ran into each other at Riot Fest. I was walking down Damon in Wicker Park one day. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, Sam? And, like, I would see her. I saw her more, like, outside of that apartment and after, like, I was no longer with that ex-girlfriend than I did when I was, like, in that situation that was more conducive to, like, seeing you.
And it's always with the same friends of mine as well.
Yeah.
Some of the friends of mine that...
I actually thought you were coming
are
here with
always
them.
like- yeah, my friends were like, who is he and why do we keep seeing him?
Yeah, is he following you? Do you need help? Blink. It's been really great, and I think one thing that really made me want to reach out to you to do my first interview is like we've talked, and I remember one time on Facebook I wrote like a message to you. I was like, hey, please keep being yourself. Like, you really inspire me. Just like your voice, like a lot of things that I see on social media, like you have a strong voice for. I think you have a really great perspective on a lot of things in life. But like the times we've talked, it's not just talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anyone can be cyber angry about something, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm genuinely angry.
Yeah, you know, but like you genuinely have like these feelings, and I would say like you have a little bit more alternativeness to you than I guess like normal society would have, and you wear that proudly, and like I get the sense when like I'm around you or when I see you or when I'm reading something that you're writing, that you're really like in tune with yourself. And I think that's like really inspirational. And that's why I want to bring you on first. Is just because like what better way to like have an interview than with someone who's like really in tune and like positive and proud of themselves. Like, you are who you are and you don't hide it. Like, you gladly are open about it, and that's inspirational to me. And I thought it'd be really great to get you on camera. So I want to thank you for hanging out with Winston and I. We've had a great time getting to know you. I hope everyone out there also had a good time getting to just see like how amazing Sam is, the things she's gone through, and hear her story. I guess you can find her on Facebook. Is there anything particular, any plugs you want to throw out there?
Ooh, I have a travel blog that I haven't had the time to do more than one entry on, but it will, when I have time, finish detailing the full 14-day period of a study abroad I did in India over last winter, which will be agothabroad.wordpress.com.
So we're going to get the link, and we'll actually post that in the video description down below. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing more of you soon. Have a great one. Is it done yet? Are we over?